Portland 6 months ago. They made the commitment, and so he had to be there tonight. And he's very sorry he's not here, but he will come back. If you really want to see the real guy, he's much bigger, wider than me, but I am going to represent him today as if I am Paul. So for the last 2.5 years, him and Kevin have been going to almost every single board meeting. And at every single board meeting, they would ask the board, please let our kids get educated. There's a lot of things that happen, so let our kids go back to school. Masking is fine. And it was very frustrating. So I'm just going to read you a little bit of what Paul wrote, that you get a glimpse of who he is. We've been here for 15 years. Paul's a forest manager. He's got his master's degree from Oklahoma State in silviculture, and he also went to Humboldt State, and he works in McLeod for the Campbell Group. He used Dave Marshall is the guy he replaced, if anybody knows Dave. And we've been here 15 years. I do teach at Mount Shasta High School. I've been there for 15 years. I'm a science teacher, and I have seen a lot of change. 2 of our 3 children have graduated from Mount Shasta High School, 2010 and 2014, and they went on to very successful careers. But my son this year is a junior, and I'm worried. I'm worried that he does not have the education that he should have because of a lot of reasons. My husband, Paul, however, is very involved in the community, just like these guys are. He was Rotary president at one time. Right now, he does the scholarship fund with Rotary. He's the leader for the Boy Scouts. He's the assistant leader in Boy Scouts. And he's also on 2 other committees in forestry out of Sacramento and elsewhere for the state. So he's really involved now. And he has a lovely wife and kids. And so I'm going to read to you his priorities, and they're about the same as these fellows. We want our kids to get a good education. We want these kids to be able to read and write and do math and science and think critically. Anyway, and so he says he wants to return the priority to the classical education, like these 2 said, but also he wants our students to be well-rounded. These kids need more opportunities, let them do more sports, of course, give them more electives. Let's improve our AP program, which is, by the way, very good right now, but there's so many things that they kind of didn't get during COVID, and we want to bring that back. And the most important thing is these 3 men want transparency of the board. We've never had anything written up where you can see who said what, right, into the public, ever, until the new superintendent came, and we've now seen that. So we want transparency. And the most important thing that Paul wants, and these 2 guys want, is we want to talk to the parents. We want the parents to come and talk to us, form committees, and be a part of the school. In the last 2.5 years, I have to say the parents were quite ignored, and it was really, really, really frustrating. He wants to have kids have a base training of being physically fit. That means give them more sports or electives that are more fitness oriented, because we don't have that right now. We used to have things like creative writing and business law. We had computer programs. We don't anymore. And I wonder if it's because when the board makes policies of where the money goes, it's going to other things, and we would like it to go right to the students. He says, so arts, music, band, choir, we do have those things, but let's make them better. Let's do a marching band if we can, or something like that. Make the board meetings available to everyone, and that means go back to Zoom for the parents who are working, because the board meetings have been at 4 o'clock. And for 2.5 years, I know my husband and I have said, can you please have it at 6 so working parents can come? And they did not. And so, okay, then let's do Zoom so they can maybe watch it from their desk at work. So a lot of the parents could not be a part of this, and they could not see the decisions that were being made for their children that were not always benefiting our students. So Paul wants that. He wants in-depth board meeting minutes, like I said before, notes. Be diligent in limiting the closed sessions to only those items that are allowed to be talked about. They want to be very professional, and they think that that's why we need another change. And he wants to embrace parent community input. That's the biggest thing, is parents came to the board meetings, and I was one of the parents, and I was a teacher, and I pleaded with them. As an example is, I have very bad internet, and when we were Zooming, I was pretty far up on McLeod Road, and I was teaching all my classes, and sometimes my internet would crash. So I asked my supervisor if I could come to the school and teach from my school. Nobody was there, and he said no. They said no. I mean, decisions like that, it hurt hurts my kids, you know? Things like that. So there's all kinds of stuff that have happened that we disagree with. And I tell you what, these guys, okay. Okay, we all have kids in school right now. The board today, I think one person had a child in school, but we have kids in school right now. I think that makes a difference too. And we're very, very committed to make a change for the positive so our kids get educated, and because they're going to take care of all of us one day. And anyway, okay, thank you, sorry.